So if you're like, we're big fans of the very old Tomb Raider, like Tomb Raider 1, Tomb Raider 2, like almost 20 years ago now. And you can see like a lot of little details we put that we do love those games. Like this menu is like the spinning menu from the first game, right? With all the gear from Lara that also acts as like different menu entries. You can see here is the main thing. There is also some relics that you can find throughout the game. You can collect different outfits, which is like super classic from Lara Croft. And you know, some are all the usual settings and whatnot. So if I click on the main binder, there are 5 books, which are the 5 chapters of our game. We got like 75 puzzles, I'd say. The first book is just like an intro, like going down the rabbit hole kind of thing. And then we got 3 main, we call them mazes. So there's maze of snakes, maze of stone, and maze of spirits. And then there is a classic escape the temple sequence, all in the turn-based style. So I'll show you very quickly some of the levels. So this is kind of the end of the tutorial. We arrived to that one hut place, and as you go forward, after we teach you how to move, which is very simple, you know, swipe to move control, like super easy, you arrive and you find that one key, which is the key of snakes. And as you might think, the key of snakes is going to open a gate. So if I go forward, here is the gate. So all I have to do, I swipe on this node, and this is the artifact I'm here for, which I won't tell too much about right now. And if I use the key, the gate should open, but actually it doesn't. That's like a super classic Tomb Raider moment when you got this main gate, 2 little side doors, and you know you're gonna have to explore one area, then the second, and then finally you're gonna get to the artifact you're here for, right? So if I go here, I'm going to exit the tutorial section kind of thing, and I'm going to go to the first maze, which is called the Maze of Snakes. So you can see here, I always spend a lot of time, like all these little details in the environment, the little scarab here, like the little mushrooms that are gently moving. This is a basic combat, because Lara Croft, she's about exploring, climbing on stuff, and about killing animals. There was this thing with the very first Tomb Raider was there was no human enemy. You know, there was already a few FPS going on and stuff like this, and the guys that created the first Tomb Raider, they said, okay, it needs to be Lara against the environment, and that's the same thing we're going for here. It's just tiny Lara against this huge, dangerous environments, and all the enemies, they're just like dangerous beasts. So you see how I just swipe to eliminate my enemies, and actually what the good thing is I can also combine it with like crazy Lara acrobatic move to eliminate those guys. And as I go forward, you know, I can take on that guy. So kind of like Hitman Go, if the enemy is forward facing, it's going to eliminate you. If you come from the side or the back, you're going to be the one eliminating it. So this game is like really, we're trying to go for like simple puzzles. It's like almost like a lock. It needs to be very small, things like as if it would be obvious to find the solution, but it's not. You know, we're really trying to go for that sweet, elegant, simple puzzle spot. There might be more than one puzzle per level, and we have these checkpoints that I just went through. So if you do fail after that, you just respawn right there. So it's very easy to restart. So I'll show you. This is the first chapter, the first setting called the Maze of Snakes. At the very end of the Maze of Snakes, you get the Key of Stones, which opens the second chapter, named the Maze of Stones. Different setting. The first one was really about vegetation, you know, lush environment. The Maze of Stones is deeper on the ground. So now you're getting more serious. The music really accompanies you in this journey deeper and deeper underneath the earth, trying to get this artifact. And you can see the color palette as well is very different. And here is another super classic Tomb Raider mechanics, this pillar that's in my way. But if I tap, there I go, I can move it. I can go forward, and I can also use it to my advantage. Here you go, random time, sometimes there's this like classic Lara handstand move, but all this you don't have to do anything, it's just this random little flavored animation that we throw on top. Here I can use the pillar to my advantage, I push it, I know I can cross the gap, right? So all this is like every time we introduce the mechanics, very simple, and then we combine 1, 2, 3 mechanics, and it becomes more and more challenging. And the way it goes is the first chapter is pretty easy, second one is a little more challenging, and by the third one, you know, brain teasers. That's what it is. And I show you one more mechanic, which is another classic from Tomb Raider Adventures. Is you're going down that temple on these like narrow bridges, and as you go, you can guess already what's going to happen. There's this big boulder here with this kind of contraption behind, and if I step on that one stone, I triggered it. But it's a turn-based boulder. It's a turn-based boulder. So I move, it moves. So there is kind of a pressure that if I go back, I'll die, but I can take my time to think what's my next move. So here I go. Maybe I'm going to be safe if I go on the side. This thing is actually acting as an immediate push, which doesn't help me too much because now the boulder is following me. And actually here I'm screwed. And I'm gonna die. But you can restart super easily as you see where the way is, like you're gonna go down and stuff like this. So this is it, Lara Croft Go.
Excellent. When's the game out?
The game is out 27th of August, so very soon now.